All right, let's everybody trot. Let's see everybody trot. I want to see if everybody can trot on loose rein. Nice loose rein. Trot. Nice little trot. My horse is pretty fresh, so I'm going to let him go kind of fast. You see he's got his head up. Just a young horse, ain't been too many places. So I'm just going to kind of let him check everything out. And I always say the trot is the true training gait of the horse.
You know, the first day of school is always the toughest. These kids, they're a little nervous and very, very shy in the get-go. But the secret is give them a job to do. Boy, we got them riding around in a circle, just checking them out, and from there giving them a lot of instruction.
Why don't you learn to think while you ride? Put your hands down real quietly right in front of that saddle horn. If your reins are behind the saddle horn, you're probably too long. That's pretty good, cowgirl. You know what? That's a nice job right there. You see, you got a good way with that horse and that good rhythm. Just be aware that a couple times, like when you're loping left, you're leaning left. So just keep that, like in dressage, we always say ride the outside of your horse. So just get over to the outside, and really what that does is put you center, because, man, you ride really nice. So center up on that horse, and don't let him duck in. Stay on that rail. Let the rail be your friend, and that'll keep your horse nice and straight. Excellent work.
You know, one of the things I like to do is give them games. And when I team them up, boy, that competitive spirit really comes alive, and you can see them starting to smile and really have a good time. And I tell you what, that's when the clinic really gets rolling.
Okay, on your mark, get set, go. Short nose rein.
Creeps under price of life's demands, shameful sea, please don't pay the whole happy man. Oh, the blood of Jesus washes me. Oh, the blood of Jesus shed for me. What a sacrifice that saved my life. Yes, the blood is my victory. Savior, Son, Holy One, slain so I can live. See the Lamb, the great I am, takes away my sin. Oh, the blood of Jesus washes me. Oh, the blood of Jesus shed for me. What a sacrifice that saved my life. Yes, the blood, it is my victory.
You know, it seems like at every camp that we do, and I'm not sure if this is 10 or 11 that we've done now, but Dennis and I, we always notice that when they come in, there's always those kids that they're going to make friends with everybody, and then there's kids that they don't know anybody, so they're not going to talk to anybody. Not to mention, they're fixing to have instruction from our world champion, Craig Cameron, and so they're a little bit nervous because, you know, a lot of the kids that come in, they don't ride all the time. They're just beginning. It's a passion that they're trying to build, so they're nervous about maybe not living up to expectations. But it is truly amazing that before long, as church services happen and as love begins to fill the room and as people begin to let them know that they believe in them, and Craig, even though sometimes he will cut you absolutely no slack because he wants the best from you. Before long, their guards let down and they're becoming what they were intended to be. And really, that's what this whole camp's about. If people will let their guards down. See, if you have a guard up, even God can't get in. Not to mention instruction for whatever it is you're doing, team roping, bull riding, horsemanship, barrel racing. If there's a guard up, nothing comes in and nothing goes out. It's the very same with God. So we strive very diligently to just pray and seek God that these kids will find a place where they know they're safe. They can let their guard down. And then God can just be God.
His blood is my victory.
Father, we thank you for what you're about to do. I'm honored that you are in this place. And of all the places you could be, you come to Hamilton, Texas to hang out with your kids. Thank you. Father, please let them hear you and not me. Father, I pray today that we would break down walls of pride. And Father, we thank you and we praise you in Jesus' name. You agree with you? Say amen. All right.
Today, we're going to ride for control. Soft hands, loose reins. Guys, you don't just ride off and kick them. Today, we're going to start picking up the correct lead.
You know, one of the toughest things is changing old habits. So, boy, that's a real job for me to get them to do that. But I'm talking a lot about techniques and tradition of great horsemanship. Lifting that rein. Man, that sounds easy, but it really is tough. Get them to use their legs, look where they're going, getting their hands up front. And you know what? By staying consistent and through repetition, just like with a horse, you begin to see these young people really work at it and begin to really get better.
First rider go, and I want you to stay on the rail today, all the way to your stop, which will be right about where they're watering. All right, here we go. First rider. Take your left leg off. Stay jab. Outstanding. Much better. Next rider go.
After lunch, we set up a really great obstacle course. You know, here at the Crooked Creek Ranch, they give so much, and the obstacle course is really exciting for these young folks. But I tell you, they were having to just get them going, and we start real slow. And at some point, I line them up head to tail. And at this point, instead of going over the obstacles, we start going around those obstacles. It's important that they understand we're not going to make the horses go over it, we're going to allow them. We use the power of the herd, and before it was over, we gave them a chance to ride that course by themselves. And you know what? Every horse went through every obstacle. I was really proud of those kids.
Well, I really look forward to coming to these Equine Champions for Christ camps because I know the emphasis that's placed on the spirituality. I know they bring in world-class instructors in the arena instructions of whatever event it is they're producing at that camp. But my focus is the spiritual side.
If you don't have hope, you can't have faith. Hebrews 11 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So if you allow the devil to steal your hope, you can't have faith. I want you to know God is referred to in the Psalms as a God of hope. He's the God of all hope. And I want you to know if you'll hope thou in God, there's always an answer. There's always a way of escape. There's always victory to be had. There's always triumph over your enemies and over the devil and over the circumstance and over the situations. There's always the peace to come through the God of peace and of love and appreciation. Always, without exception.
The day and age that we live, there are broken, hurting, wounded people everywhere. And we just want to try to be sensitive to the Lord to give those people an opportunity to reach out to Him because Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and He can still do a miracle in their lives. And so we try to make it easy for them to open up to us, to tell them what the Word of God says about how to get their life healed and well and fixed so that they can enjoy life.
After the obstacle course, really wanted to change things up, so we rode out of the arena onto this incredible ranch here at Crooked Creek. You know, the scenery is beautiful, it's really hilly, and also a lot of places it changes up and gets really rocky. There's lots of trees. So I sent them on a long loop, riding the perimeter with a partner and taking care of each other. Always say, never leave your wingman. And in the meantime, keep using those skills. And when they do, you begin to see that progress that's so important to the horse and the rider. The last day, these kids are starting to really have fun, ask a lot of questions and teasing me, and I tell you what, it really becomes a give and take situation out there, and I enjoyed every minute. What a pleasure to work with these young people. Hey, what they really enjoy the most are those games. That's when they really start bearing down, and I create this flag game riding around the barrels where they have to really work together and really use their skills. Hey, there's precision out there and speed, and I think they liked both of them, and the progress was incredible.
I have learned all sorts of things from Craig. A lot of little tips and things, you know, stuff that will help me with my everyday life with my horse, from the ground and on top of the horse. Stuff that will improve me all around and help her be better and happier with me, and me to be happier with me.
I fixed my reins on how to keep them shorter, because normally I keep them really loose so I'm not pulling on his bit because it's a pretty severe bit. And so I've kind of loosened up on it, but also keep him collected so he doesn't run off with me. So it's kind of balancing it.
For me, Mr. Cameron really taught me to soften in my hands with her and to really give my horse a chance to respond with the lightest amount of touch. And I did notice a difference on the responsiveness of her and her sensitivity.
We learned how to control the horse by slowing down instead of just letting them full out blown run, holding them back, and then making sure they're in the right lead. I also learned how you can use your feet to cue them to go to the left lead or right lead.
It was pretty easy for me to change, but other times, you know, sometimes you have to remind me, and sometimes I think I've had them short, but they weren't short enough, and so he just kind of have to remind us, and we'd fix it and go on.
So earlier today I was watching Craig in the arena, and these kids were trying to make simple left-hand turns around a cone. And he continued to say, lift your left rein. Because see, if they lift their left rein, it helps the horse position himself to a place for success. So I began to think of how that analogy of lifting that hand would apply to these kids spiritually. I thought to myself, open your heart. You see, if you'll ever open your heart and let God have a place, His rightful place on the inside of you, it'll change everything about you. See, when you open your heart and trust Him with scars and problems, that's when God can do something amazing.